Hello everyone out there. Welcome to Hanover. I'm Eric if you don't know me. I hope the kids in the Spielplatz are not too loud. Now, something I want to talk about. Music. If you know even just a little bit about me, you know that I love living in Hanover, but I also love music. And it turns out that the two go hand in hand really well. Let me tell you something. Little history lesson. Now, we've all known things like the Scorpions are from here. Everyone knows that. But also, too, Hanover has, for like the better part of 40 or 50 years, like, it's kind of known as like a behind-the-scenes type place. And by that I mean like recording and record labels. I know that they've had some famous and popular recording studios here over the years, but also some major record labels, like the European home for major record labels was greatly here in Hanover, to the best of my knowledge. I know a lot of them have moved. You know, like you think of Hamburg and Berlin when you think of music, but once upon a time it was Hanover. Now, going back, I want to talk a little bit about this building right here, and a guy named Emil Berliner. This is an old gramophone factory. Now, this guy, Emil Berliner, he was born here in Hanover around like 1850, I think. 1850, 1851, somewhere. I'm not entirely sure. This dude invented the record label and the record. I think probably most notably the record. The record label came afterwards. Him and his brother were inventors. They invented a lot of shit. I don't know if I think they made adjustments to the gramophone, or they invented the gramophone and then it was something else and then became, I don't know. That's not my point. I want to focus on the record itself. Like, the way that we listen to music today came from this dude's mind, essentially. Yeah. So, Emil Berliner, I know that his family moved to the US, and he also invented the microphone. Like, it started with the microphone used in the first telephone. And he even had like legal battles with Thomas Edison over the patent. And of course, we know that Edison won that, because Edison's the one that we learn about in school, that we get credit for at Americans. I'm sure Germans never learned about Thomas Edison. Maybe you guys know more about Emil Berliner than I do. But to me, it's something cool and special. Just because of the fact that I love music so much. I love listening to music. So, and I'm also, being a singer, the fact that this dude was involved in inventing the first microphone is really awesome to me. Like, I love that. But I love learning this extra little bit of history that essentially goes unnoticed. Yeah, so like, if you're a fan of listening to music at home, whether you have a record player or not, or even if you do, next time you put that vinyl disc on its player, you can think of me and how excited I am to learn about Emil Berliner, and the fact that he was from Hanover. Also, too, the record label. At some point in time after he moved to the U.S., well, of course, because he was about 20 years old when he moved to the U.S., but after they they invented or developed the way that this flat-laying record was cut and listened to. They ended up developing or establishing the first record label. And this grew into like big names like RCA came from this little thing. You know that little logo with the dog listening to the record player? Or I think he had his nose in it? That came from these guys. So like, for all I know, it came from here. But it's, I love it. I love it so much. So yeah, the more you know. A little history lesson for today. Just sharing with you some little things that I love about Hanover. This place that I now call home. Anyway, if you'd like to know more, if you'd like me to show you more about Hanover, some little things like this, I could probably put together a pretty big list and maybe do something like this once a week, because Hanover's deep. There's a big history here, and I love being a little bit of a tour guide. So, thanks for joining me. I hope you appreciate that little history lesson. Please subscribe. I appreciate that. And also, a shout out to my Trinkgeld supporters so far. I'll put a little link down below in the description, but thank you all for that support so far. I appreciate all of you, but that little extra really means a lot. So it tells me that you also appreciate what I'm doing, that you want more. So, with that being said, bis nächste Mal.